The prog rock epic. Oh yeah, it's become kind of emblematic of the prog genre as a whole. Nothing says progressive rock quite like a sidelong epic, right? Well, it's really one of the things that I love most about prog rock indeed. And 2022 saw a bumper crop of epic tracks, and we are employing the Chris Squire rules here. So an epic must be 15 minutes or longer, and I'm gonna run through the Sweet 16, the 16 best prog rock epics of 2022, and we're starting with Gandalf's Fist, and the song is called Cave, off their brand new album Widdershins. Thank you, Michael, from Notes Reviews, for turning me on to this track. I knew they had a new album coming out, and they just did a review of it yesterday on their channel, so thank you. Gandalf's Fist, yeah, it's Dean Marsh and Luke Severn. They've been doing this thing for a while. I kind of got in on these guys in 2013 with their Universal Wanderer album. Forest of Fae came out the next year. That was really good. And then they got into this real super long form storytelling with the Clockwork Fable, which was a triple album. And they followed that up with the Clockwork Prologue, which was a double album. It's just insane. So here we have a single serving of Gandalf's Fist with an epic at the end. And shout out to Carrie Farish, who has been singing with them on their last couple records. She is amazing, just terrific at number 15. It's a big shocker that this one made it, because their first album wasn't any good at all. It's Arc of Life. This is the Yes spin-off group that's got members of 4 people who have been involved with Yes and Dave Kersner. So you've got John Davison, Billy Sherwood, Jimmy Hahn, Jay Shellen, and Dave Kersner, and their first album was terrible. The second album dropped last week, and the last song on it is called Arc of Life, and it's actually really, really good. There's hope. There's hope in Yes World. Yes, there is. At number 14, we're going to Transylvania with a group of Hungarian-speaking folks from Romania. The band is called Yesterdays. They dropped a new album called Saint Exuperia Alma, and the song is called Esotanc. This song is great, man. This is their 4th album. They sound a lot like Yes with a female singer, so maybe Renaissance is a good reference point, but this is a great, great track. It starts out very Yes-like, then it goes through some Gentle Giant medieval stuff, and it's got the weird vocal stuff that Gentle Giant love to do, the choral stuff, and then it comes back to a Yes/Starcastle ending. It's actually really, really great. If you haven't heard Yesterday's, check them out. They're really good. At number 13, it's the Samurai of Prague and La Resa di Contin, which translates to, I don't know what it translates to, but there was a movie of the same name. It was directed by Sergio Solima with Ennio Morricone doing all the music. This came off of the album, The Spaghetti Epic 4. So there's a lot of references to the spaghetti western type of music that Ennio Morricone used to do for all those great, great movies. This movie was not directed by Sergio Leone. This was actually a different Sergio. Sergio Solima directed this 1968 film. And unlike the rest of this album, there's really not a whole lot of spaghetti western sounds here. It was actually written by Alessandro De Benedetti, who's a member of Mad Crayon, and he's got a solo project called Inner Prospect. Real good stuff. And the song is sung by the great Stefano Gallifi from Musea Rosenbach. What else do you want? It's amazing. At number 12, we're going to LA and Lobate Scarp. Oh yeah, and their song Flowing Through the Change. What a good album this was. The whole thing's great. You have it all. Adam Sears and his crew of Andy Catt and Peter Tuchniak are joined on drums on this track by the great Eric Moore from Suicidal Tendencies. It's a 17-minute song in 5 parts. It's everything you want from prog. It's really great. Keep an eye out on Lobate Scarp, guys. I have a feeling there's some really big things in their future. At number 11, we're going to Sweden and Jonas Lindberg and The Other Side. The song is called Miles from Nowhere, the title track from their second album, their first for Inside Out. This song is probably most notable in that in part 5, you've got a ripping Royna Stolt guitar solo in it. It's just great. This band has got 3 singers. So you got Jonas Lindberg, Jonas Sundvist, and Jenny Storm. The song is 25 minutes long, goes through all kinds of changes, and it's terrific. If you like the Flower Kings, you'll probably love Jonas Lindberg. He also played bass on one song on the new Flower Kings album. I guess it was a little trade-off. Nobody got paid. It was just, you play on my record, I'll play on yours. At number 10, we're staying in Scandinavia, and it's Kaipa with The Bitter Setting Sun off their latest album, Urskog. This was the last song on the album. It's a 15-minute song. It's the best song on the album. I really like it. I love Kaipa. They've got a new drummer, but he sounds a lot like the old drummer, so don't get it confused. It's really great. At number 9, we're talking about Andy Tillison and The Tangent, and his latest album was Songs from the Hard Shoulder, and there were not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 epics on this thing if you include the UK cover song. Any one of them could have made this list. The Lady in the Lamppost is amazing. GPS Vultures is a really incredible instrumental, but I went with the first track on the album called The Changes. It's great. It's so good. I mean, if you like epics, you're really going to like The Tangent's new album, that's for sure. At number 8, we're going to Italy, and I've got Nathan. And the song is called Egos, and this comes from the album UOMINI da SABBIA. The last song on the album just barely cracks the 15-minute mark. But if you like that classic 70s sound, that classic RPI sound, you could do a whole lot worse than Nathan. I hear Gentle Giant in there. I hear Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I hear Vandergraaf Generator. Oh yeah, it's amazing. Really, really great. At number 7, another Italian band. I have no idea how these guys pronounce their name. RaneStrane. I have no idea. The song is The Horror, and the album is Apocalypse Now. These guys have been doing these albums, these weird albums about movies and stuff like that. They did one called Nosferatu. They did 2 for Space Oddity, one called Hal, and the other just Space Oddity 2. They did one for The Shining. They did a tribute album for The Wall, and now we've got a tribute album for Francis Ford Coppola's great movie, Apocalypse Now, and this thing drops little pieces of dialogue from the movie into the song. There's another epic on here called Napalm, which is really good. I went with The Horror because some of the little narration in there is just crazy, talking about cutting off little kids' arms because they were getting inoculated, and a pile of little arms. Just amazing. One of the most creepiest quotes in movie history right there. At number 6, it's Comedy of Errors and Wonderland. I've been putting the links to these songs. I did it with the Song of the Year. I'm doing it here, but I don't know if I'm going to find a link to this one. I couldn't find it this morning. So, maybe I'll go back, and, a couple weeks I'll probably have that. This is the epic off the new Comedy of Errors album. Time Machine is called Wonderland. This is kind of their ode to America, about how ever since America landed on the moon, our head's been in the clouds, and we haven't really been the best partner that we could be with our allies, etc., etc. The story. It's been told before, but rarely has it been told this well, and rarely has it been surrounded by this kind of cool prog instrumentation. Just a great, great track. At number 5, here's an artist I've never talked about. It's Mike Mills and his outfit that he calls Toehider, even though it's just him. He does all the instruments, and the album is called I Have Little to No Memory of These Memories. It is his 5th album. I first clued into this guy last year, or in 2020, when he dropped his 4th album called I Like It. That was really good, but this one's amazing. It's one long song, so it's like over 40 minutes long. It's fantastic. It runs through the whole entire gamut of progressive rock, from metal to folk to symphonic. It's great. At number 4, we're going to Poland and Fren with their track Turque off their brand new album, their sophomore album, All the Pretty Days. What a great album that is. It's all instrumental, but this epic track is so good. It's 24 minutes long. It closes out the album in really epic fashion. You hear a lot of King Crimson in there. There's a lot of Mellotron, but in general, these guys play in a prog that's very piano heavy with a lot of melodic guitar and clean guitar. Just incredible. Sometimes instrumental prog gets me a little sleepy, and sometimes I do lose my interest. Not with Fren. Just fantastic. And number 3, we're going down under, mate, with Ben Craven and Amnis Flows Aeternum, the second song off his fantastic new album, Monsters from the Id, which was actually just 2 epics. I mean, what else do you want from a prog album, man? 2 incredible epics. I didn't know which way to go with this one or the first track, both of which are like 20 minutes long. They're both incredible. You know, Ben Craven's going to be a major factor on my album of the year list. Absolutely. Why wouldn't he be at number 2? Boy, we just talked about this album yesterday, and Song of the Year came off of this album. But number 2 Epic of the Year comes off this album too. It's Ryo Okumoto and the title track from his brand new solo album, The Myth of the Mostrophus. This thing is just incredible, man. The storytelling is really cool. You know, it tells the story of this monster that lives underground, and he only comes up every, couple hundred years or whatever and just starts eating people and destroying cities. So they found some paintings in a cave. Some archaeologists determined that there was a secret melody that could defeat the monster. So a prog rock singer figured it out, sung the song, and the monster was defeated. Ted Leonard's vocals, Nick DiVigilio also on vocals and drums. This is what they called Ryo's beard, because it's basically everybody who's ever played in Spock's beard except Neil Morse coming together. Michael Whiteman wrote a lot of this material, the guy from I Am the Manic Whale. I really hope Ryo and Michael Whiteman work again together, because, wow, what a great combination they are. What a great team. Oh, here we go. It's number 1, Cats and Kittens, the greatest epic of 2022. It's Memento Mori from JPL, Jean-Pierre Louboutin, my favorite Frenchman in the entire world. And he finished out his incredible Sapiens trilogy with an epic. That's how you do it, boy. That's how you do it. Absolutely. Yeah, it takes up all the side 2. It's cut in 5 pieces. There's, little or no interaction between the 5 parts. But at the very end, we had 3 albums of the Sapiens, right? It started in 2020 with Sapiens 1, which was just amazing. It was my album of the year by far. And then part 2 came out last year, which was pretty cool too. I really love it. Look at that Stanley Decker artwork. Incredible. And then they finished it up with Sapiens part 3. And why wouldn't you want to end your brilliant masterpiece, your brilliant trilogy with an epic? And JPL absolutely did that. He even gives me a shout out there too. Scott, merci. Thank you, JPL. I love you, man. You've got the epic of the year. You absolutely do. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to be looking at those who left us in 2022. A quick little in memoriam for the great artists who are no longer with us, and we'll just do a little tribute on that. But anyway, that is the top 16, the Sweet 16, the best epics of 2022. And you heard it here first. I'm going to try to put a link to these songs in the description. Well, all of them except that Comedy of Errors song, I guess. But anyway, I'll see you freaks tomorrow. Peace in the Middle East. God save the King and Meghan Markle.